5 quick tips. Hi everybody and welcome to my channel, Edit With Me. If you're new, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about editing, post-production, and my life as a freelancer. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and watching the videos that I love creating for you. And my goal with this channel is to help everyone that's interested in editing become better and faster at what they're doing. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe to this channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my future uploads. It really helps me out. It's the best way to support me and what I do. So without further ado, let's get into 5 quick tips that are going to help you be a more efficient editor. And these are very quick, very basic. Let's get into it. All right, so quick tip number 1. It's pretty obvious. Save often. And versions are free. Well, that's kind of like a 2-for-1. But it's kind of the same thing. So I say save often, and you should be mindful of the last time you saved before applying effects that use a lot of RAM. For example, I was blasting through a lot of changes for a client and thought, oh, this glimmer effect would be cool, and boom, crash. I lost 45 minutes of work. Maybe not 45 minutes, but whatever it was, I lost a lot of work. And one of my least favorite phrases from the first place I worked was, it's always easier the second time. My life is potatoes. Ever get to the end of a project and realize the whole time it hasn't been saved and it's been called Untitled and doesn't have a destination? Save your projects. Another way to avoid losing your work without having to remember is to set up your autosaves to save often. You can set your projects up to save as often as every 5 minutes. And versions are free. So this means whenever you're working in an edit or any kind of project and you're about to make a major change that's going to maybe change the structure or might take the video in another direction stylistically, save up a version. This way, if the client doesn't like it or you end up not liking it, you can go back to that fork in the road where you decided to make that change and start from there instead of having to start from scratch. And they don't cost anything. You can make as many as you want. And this also helps when you're working in a team environment. You can avoid overwriting another person's work. Typically, the protocol is once you open the file, you save a new version before working. Always. I don't care what anybody else says, they're wrong. Quick tip number 2, know where your preferences are. It's important to know where these are because it's where you can troubleshoot a lot of the issues you may have with your project files. Well, like I mentioned before, the autosave, you're going to adjust how often your autosave happens in your preferences. Or is it project settings? Yeah, preferences. Audio not working, it's probably the output mapping. I have another video that details everything about the preferences in Premiere, and it's pretty much the same in After Effects. On a Mac, you can find preferences by clicking on where it says Premiere Pro. On a PC, you need to click on Edit and then go to the bottom where you can find Preferences. And this brings me to quick tip number 3, and this is for Premiere exclusively. Play audio while scrubbing, and you want to make sure it's on. In a Mac, we're going to click on where it says Premiere Pro, go to Preferences and Audio. On a PC, we're going to go to Edit, Preferences, Audio, and make sure Play Audio while scrubbing is checked. Click OK, and that's it. Play audio while scrubbing is helpful if you're trying to replace a single word in a timeline or trying to splice some sentences together. You can go frame by frame and hear exactly where the gaps in the words or the syllables land so you can make a cleaner cut. Quick tip number 4. In both Premiere and After Effects, you can end up with a lot of sequences or compositions open. Remember, sequences are in Premiere and compositions are in After Effects. So it can get hard to keep up with all the tabs that are open in the timeline panels of either one of these softwares. So the best way to stay organized is to right-click on the timeline panel you want to stay open and click on Close Other Timeline Panels. And this will close out all the other timeline panels that you have open and just leave the active one that you've selected. And it doesn't delete them out of the project, it doesn't close them out permanently, it just doesn't show that actual panel. So you can still go into your project window and access those compositions or sequences. All right, quick tip number 5, last quick tip, and it's awesome. Reducing your projects in Premiere and After Effects. This is super helpful because your projects will get pretty heavy. Like as you're building them, you're going to bring in a lot of footage or elements, rendered elements that you may or may not use. Some things might end up getting deleted. A lot of things are going to get added. So to save space when you end up having to back these projects up or deliver them back to a client, you're going to have to reduce them to just what was used in the final deliverable project. So whatever was used to create that final render that you gave to your client, that's the only information and the only elements you want kind of packaged together in one file to get them. So you'll need to reduce your projects. So in Premiere, you select the sequence you want to preserve your elements for, go to Edit and click on Remove Unused. And that's it. The program deletes the footage and images and audio you didn't use in the selected sequence. And you can select multiple sequences and do this for multiple sequences. In After Effects, you select the composition you want to preserve all of the elements for. Go to File, Dependencies, and click on Reduce Project. And this may take a little bit longer in After Effects than it does in Premiere. And I like to do this in After Effects periodically, like if I know I'm not using, if I've imported full projects to pull from, I'll do this periodically because clearing up all of that added information in your project also helps the auto save faster. You'll notice as your project gets heavier, the autosave takes longer to process. So doing this periodically helps with that time. All right, that's the quick tips, the 5 quick tips for today. I hope you learned something new. If you did, let me know in the comments below. If there's anything you have questions about, also let me know. I love answering questions. I love getting suggestions for videos. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else you want to know about the post-production industry. And if you got this far in the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And until next time, happy editing. Bye, guys.